Good morning! I am Madam Eileen. I'm here to show you one of my balloon creations today. This is a candy cup order for a birthday for an adult, and I want to show you how I pack my candy cups real quick. I like to include something large and colorful, like Oreo cookies. That seems to be everyone's favorite. Now, when I'm packing for a grown-up, I like to use more grown-up candies and maybe a throwback. I'm going to put a ring pop in this just because it's fun. The lady I'm making this for looks like a very fun lady. I want to put just a few hard candies because hard candies are heavy and they weigh the candy cap down and help hold the balloon creation. And the shiny candy wrappers look really cool and magical through the sides. I like to add Andy mints. Each candy cup will be different. It won't have the same chocolates or the same amount. I just like to make it colorful. Especially, there's going to be Dove chocolates. Those are a must. Some are dark, some are light. A crunchy, something blue and colorful. Some more hard candies. And to make her feel special, 100 grand. Some more Dove chocolates. Pack those on the side with a little pretty gift bow towards the outside. And I'm looking through my candy. Ooh, let's throw in a Milky Way. Oh, this is new. I just found them. Little Oreo cookie candy bars. I tried one. They're delicious. As if Oreos weren't good enough. By now, the cup is packed pretty full. At this point, I'm going to throw in one more Andy mint. And let's see, I had some small balloons. It's time to put the lid on this. There they are. Okay, I'm going to turn on. I have an inflation device. This is Legenda Generation 1. They help me make my balloons more quickly. I inflate the balloon and I take this dome lid, thread it through, pull it in so it's nice, fills the top nicely. Then I'm going to put it on top of the candy cup and I'm going to push down while letting the air out. And it clicks closed. Then I'm going to wrap around 3 fingers, remove my middle finger, and then pull the knot through. And now that's the base of our candy cup. Now our doll is going to sit on a flower. Yes, this balloon I'm creating is a character of a real person. The only thing that's not going to be the same is it's going to be a fantasy princess dress. I made a loop. If you go to my beginner twister videos, it'll explain a little bit more about these loops I'm making. I give the balloon a squeeze and I twist around. I'm not giving too much explanation on how I make these petals because I already have a video on that. But you want to make these petals on the small side. Don't make them large. You see these loops? These loops are no more than 3.5 fingers wide. If you are a kid and you have tiny fingers, then you might want to do 4 or 5 finger petals. But if you're a teenager or a grown-up, you want to make sure that they're tiny. I'm counting my loops. I have 6 loops. I want to see if I can put in a loop number 7. I'm going to give a little scissor snip to the tip of the tail, let a little bit of air out. Bend that in. Oh yeah, before I made the loop, do you see how short that is? It really doesn't take a lot of balloon to make the short little loops. And that's how you can make a flower out of its entire single balloon. And now I need to organize the loops by pulling them apart and then lining the bottom of one loop to the bottom of the next loop. So I pull apart, line up, push together, pull them apart. See how this one's free? I'm going to pull them apart and I'm going to tuck this one back down into place. Pull it apart again, set them together. This loops down, so I'm going to pull this apart. You just the loop a bit best. Okay. So I'm going to pull 2 loops and use my other fingers to pull. It's very important to pull the loops apart in order to manipulate the balloons. You don't want the balloons rubbing against each other because, you know, if you move rubber, it heats. Well, this is rubber. This is made from the sap of the rubber tree. It's an organic origin in nature, and it will decompose after a while. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you. I had hand sanitizer. I did this just before I did the candy cups, before I started the video, but I'm going to do it again so you can see. I sanitize my hands before I put the candy in. And when I start twisting, no germs. Okay, now this is going to be a pretty princess in pink. So I have a 260 balloon. It's rose. I'm going to use 2 or 3. I say 3 because something might pop. So when you look at the tail, you look at how many fingers. So this is about a 7-finger tail. I'm trying to put a lot of twists in it. I'm going to connect this to the base of my flower. I put my knot here in the center, and I push down just above the knot, and then I pull the knot down, and then I go up a different loop to the top and let go. Now the distance from the center of the flower to right here, I'm going to twist right there because when I build the skirt's going to want to lay across. So you need a spacer bubble that lifts the skirt just a little bit so the bottom of the skirt will lay flat. Now this involves some trickiness. As long as I don't let go of one side or the other, the twist will stay. So I'm going to put this down on my lap. I'm going to go up to where I want the waist to be. Oh, I made a practice doll. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a princess in pink holding a flower with a hummingbird in it. And I was sent a picture of the lady, so I made a caricature of her face on the balloon to make it be her. So that's what we're doing. I don't want it to fall. Just off camera. Alright, now I'm going to do 3 pinch twists. 3. This is the tricky part because it wants to unwind. So I'm pushing it down on the books while holding the top. I often lift it into the air because I just like to have the extra freedom of movement. Now, if the bottom does untwist on you, that twist that we made acts as a holder. It makes a space or a weakness. Did you hear a pop? I heard a pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay, there's still 6. If you've twisted the bubbles enough times, even if one pops, the rest should not untwist because they've been twisted closed and pinched off. But I will keep an eye on that. Okay, so that's the center of the dress. I'm going to come out. That there. Once you get this first part of the skirt attached, yeah, that looks good. Then we don't have to worry about holding it anymore. Now it will not untwist. And then I just see what I do to the other side. I'm going to go up. And then looks like I can manage to go down one more time. A little teeny bubble here. Wrap it around. So I have 3 spokes. I want a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the pink and 2 of the white. It doesn't matter if you Well, maybe it does. Okay, so I want the balloon to end up poking at the top. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to go up. That'll do it. So you do need to start at the top. So I'm pulling these two balloons apart to wedge it in, and then I'm holding the knot, and I'm wrapping this around. And I just need to do two more pokes for the dress. So when you get into tight places, you grab the balloon and you start rotating it like this. And I give a little pinch at the bottom, and then I rotate. Pinch and I rotate, pinch and rotate. And that helps walk the balloon around all on its own. Now, I'm up here to the 3 pinch twist. I pull 2 of the pinch twists apart, and I roll this balloon up to the middle. And then I pull the balloon aside, and I position the pinch twist so they're laying flat. And then here's the princess's tummy. And then she will need shoulders for her dress. And I'm going to do a final pinch twist here in the back. That helps support the head. Alright, now we're going to, so you could see stuff on my lap. I had some books on it. I'm going to take white. I love the peak of white underskirts on the princess dress. Okay, now I'm going to look at my balloon and see where all the bubbles lie. If one side's a little short, grabbing and pulling actually stretches the balloon and makes it a little bit longer. That one's on the high side. That's one. I found the spokes that I want to pull apart. Those are these two. I'm going to attach. I'm going to connect the white balloon. My beginner tutorial videos goes into details on attaching balloons. I measured down to where the skirt matches. I'm going to do a pinch twist. And then I'm going to go back to that spacer bubble. So I've made this. I'm going to connect it down there to that spacer bubble. Going around one time is okay. Going around a second time will give extra twist, so if anything pops, it all still holds together. I'm going to do the bubble back up to match the same level as the pinch twist. Do your pinch twist. Oh, and I'm going to say to my son, did you eat breakfast? He forgets to eat the silly thing. That's why he's so skinny. I gotta keep reminding him to eat. I want to adjust my twist, make it high enough. There you go. Once, twice. I'm gonna go around one more time. Because I'm twisting and rolling the balloon around, when I break it off, which is also in a different beginner twister video, I don't have to tie anything. It's all tied off. And now I need to go across. I need some more paste. I only need enough for 3 bubbles. 1, 2 in the middle, and a third one to attach to that side. I'm also going to be adding gold fringe to the bottom of the dress. So I'm going to add the gold right now. You want to leave a lot of tail on this one because we're going to make a lot of little bubbles. And little bubbles will eat up room in your balloon. So it's usually best. Again, this is also in the How to Connect Balloons section of my beginner twister videos. Now, when you're watching my videos, make sure you leave comments. Comments will tell YouTube that you really do like and enjoy my creations. And when people like my creations, YouTube says, hey, you want to do more for us? So please, please, please. I want to show off balloons and have more fun with you. And that means I need to have access to all the fun stuff that YouTube has for people whose videos are liked. So, I tie these two together, wrapped it around this point, and then I connect it here, leaving just enough to get to this next bubble. But in order to attach it, I'm going to get this balloon around first to the other side. Now, I could wrap around and call it done, but that's not as elegant as a whole bunch of little bubbles. Now, how many bubbles depends on how big you make them and the distance the bubble needs to go from joint to joint. A joint is where I twist, so each section between a bubble would be called a joint by me. So I make a few bubbles, and then I go across, and I see, do the bubbles reach this, or do I need one more? And it looks like they go across perfectly, 3. So at that point, I make a 4th bubble, and I pinch twist that bubble. It's that pinch twist that I then push around that joint, around to the front. So this is a balloon that some people would call for advanced twisters, but I believe even a beginner twister can do this. All you need to do is do what I suggest in my beginner twister hand exercise video. You need strong hands to be a twister. That'll happen. The more you twist balloons, the stronger your hands are going to get. So advanced balloons has a lot to do with your hand strength, but also judging how soft. When you make bubbles, I'm giving the balloon a slight squeeze actually before I twist and manipulate it. That moves the air out of that section, and when I make a bubble, it's a softer bubble. But if I had just twisted it, that would actually make a firm bubble. So when I make small bubbles, I'm actually collapsing it down to where I want it, the size of bubble I want it, twist, and then I let go. And that's how I make a 260 balloon into a much tinier. You squeeze the air out of the balloon till it's small, like you want it, and then you do your twists. Now I made these bubbles smaller than that, just because I was just getting away with telling you. I promised myself I would do this quickly. I can't help myself but explain and teach as I go. I think it's marvelous fun. The first balloon I ever made was a balloon unicorn. And it took 3 balloon unicorn. I never started with 1 balloon stuff. I thought it was boring. This excites me. When you do something that's exciting, you don't think how hard it is. You just go, oh, I want that. But also working with colors. What are your favorite colors? Get balloons in your favorite colors and work with that. Because when you are working with something that you love, things are a lot easier. You don't think how hard it is. You just think, oh, wow, this is awesome. You get lost in the passion of what you do. Does balloon twisting hurt your fingers? Not really. I mean, I have to do a lot of twisting before my fingers actually start hurting, because I've always used my fingers. I've done origami, counted cross stitch, gardening. You can actually pull, or you can tuck balloons in, or you can pull them out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going around and sizing my pretty princess dresses done on the bottom with a flared out white skirt in the front. Oh, that's the back. And now we're going to make her hands and her bosom. So